Welcome back, guys. Today is Thursday, May 7th, and we're going to talk some more about art today and all kinds of different stuff like that. The type of art we're going to talk about today is sculpting. Okay, we're going to talk about a famous sculptor named Michelangelo. Now, Michelangelo, he lived in a place called Italy, so he was an Italian artist, and he lived a really long time ago. He lived from 1475 to 1564. Okay, now not only was he sculptor, he also did some paintings. He was an architect, which means he helped design buildings that were being built, and he was also a poet, so he came up with like stories, kind of like what different stuff do that way. Okay, so he was a pretty smart and creative guy. So he did sculpting, which sculpting is like making a 3D form of art. Okay, so it has height, it has width, and it has depth, which means it's not just on a sheet of paper. It's something you can touch, you can feel, and you can see it from all kinds of different angles. Okay, so that's sculpting. And you'll see kind of here that there's a really famous, a lot of different famous sculptures, but this is just one of them here that I kind of have pictured for you guys to look at that he sculpted himself, Michelangelo did. Okay, so that's our art facts for today. Today we're going to be talking about sequencing as part of our reading and our literacy stuff today, okay guys? So you're going to have a paper. It's going to look like this one does, okay? And you see again, it's got a name spot for your name at the top. And we're going to kind of do some sequencing that has to do with different stuff you do during the day. So you'll see you have 4 different squares on here. Okay, you have a bedtime, a lunch, a dinner, and a breakfast. Now what I want you to do is I want you to color in all these pictures. And after you're done coloring them in, then cut just the squares out. Okay, so you'll have something that kind of looks like what Mr. Matt has here. Okay, so I cut all mine out. Okay, and I end up with 4 different squares, okay, that look like this. Now I didn't color mine in probably as good as you guys are because you guys are a lot better colors than me. But what's the first thing in the day that you do? When you wake up, what do you first eat? Yeah, breakfast. So we'll take our breakfast one, we'll put that one first. Okay, after we eat breakfast, the next thing we're going to eat is, we're going to eat lunch. Smart, guys. So that's going to go second. Okay, next we're going to eat, dinner. Jeez, man, you guys are so smart. So smart. And the last thing we're going to do after we're done with dinner and before we go to bed is we're going to get into our pajamas. Yeah, your PJs. Okay, your comfy clothes, and you're gonna have bedtime. Okay, so that's how it would look when you're all done and you cut them all in and you put them in the order they go in, and that's sequencing, putting something in the order that it gets done. Okay, so from first, second, third to fourth, or first to last, guys. All right, now I want to ask a science question because we're gonna do a really fun experiment tomorrow. But the question I want to ask you guys is, do you think you guys can mix colors? Okay, or food coloring in milk without stirring it? You think you can do it without stirring it with a spoon or a fork or whatever else other thing you could think to stir with? Do you think you could mix it all together without stirring? So I want you to be super creative and come up with a hypothesis, a really smart guess of what you think you could do to mix those different colors. Okay, and then tomorrow we're going to try out an experiment Mr. Matt might be able to think of that might be able to test our hypothesis, right? See if we're right. Okay, so I want you to be super creative. Come up with whatever you can think of. Okay, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll try it out and see if our hypothesis is right. But I hope you guys had some fun doing these activities. Think really hard about that science question. Now remember, you could probably sculpt with like clay and other stuff too, and you could be your own Michelangelo. Create your own piece of art that is super cool. So whatever you like. Maybe if you're like Mr. Matt, you might just sculpt a ball, and it might be a soccer ball because you really like soccer. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you really like dancing or horses and you want to sculpt one of those things. Okay, so be creative, do something you really like to do, and we will see you guys again tomorrow for activities. Yeah? See ya.